Welcome or welcome back. I'm Corinne, a writer and cozy comfort lover living in central Maine. In this installment of the Autumn Diaries, we're starting off with one of my favorite parts of the season, foliage. Saturday was my husband's birthday, and we took advantage of the gorgeous weather and headed out to the fields for a walk. I can't get over the colors of the leaves this year. And as soon as I think they've been at their best, they just keep getting more and more vibrant. I've been in a reflective mood recently, although to be fair, it's a mood I'm quite familiar with. But birthdays are the perfect time to pause and reflect on the past year and what we'd like for the next. With both of our birthdays this month, October tends to be a time of contemplation, and this period often lays the groundwork for what's to come in the new year. Sometimes what comes up are concrete things. Writing more, finishing one project or another, seeing the kids through another school year. And then other things are less so, like wanting a feeling around a certain area of life to change. Maybe it's work, maybe it's family, maybe it's an internal way of being you'd like to shift. And sometimes the things that come up make you want to run far, far away, because some of us have that urge. Not that we will, but we dream about it. I was talking with my dear friend Lisa recently, who, when we were talking about that exact urge, said something to the effect of, "What would it look or feel like to stay?" We both got quiet and sat with that for quite a bit, because there was more to that question, of course. It's shifting the narrative from escapism to grounding into the here and now. It's sitting through the discomfort to regulate, to honor, to find safety in ourselves. Months ago, I was working on a sweater. If you've been around here for a while, you'll remember it was a bluish purple cardigan called the Ostara Cardigan. The stitch pattern was such that by the time I was just about done the body, one of my wrists was wrecked. I had to take some time off knitting to heal. Recently, I came back to the project after having worked on a few others to slowly build my stamina back up. I'd pick up that cardigan and work a row here or there, but after every time, I felt a twinge in my wrist. The yarn is beautiful and deserves to be knit up into something that will be treasured. But with this pattern, I still had to get through 2 sleeves with the same stitches that didn't agree with my wrist. Last week, after walking past the canvas bag that held the sweater, I had a moment of clarity. I could find another pattern. I could frog or rip back the work I'd done and make something different out of the same materials. I could rearrange what I already had into something that fit me during the process and the finished object. So I did it. I ripped out the sweater. It's always amazing how quickly something can be taken apart. You spend months working on it, and in less than 10 minutes, you can turn a sweater into balls of yarn once more, ready for something more suitable, more aligned, and more you. It feels like that's where I'm at, the unraveling before something is reknit and rebuilt place. The same pieces are all here, the ones I love and treasure and will be with me for always. But there are elements that need to fall away, the ones that don't feel safe or in alignment with values I hold dear. So I started a new sweater, as you can see. I'm so happy to be working with this yarn again. It's Tanis Fiber Arts Pure Wash Worsted. It's bouncy and soft, and the fabric it knits into will be so comfortable to wear, no matter the change in pattern. I'm going back to one of my favorite designers, Alicia Plummer, for her cream Cardi. I'm not an advocate for sticking only with what you know. I think there's a lot to be said for trying new things and stepping out of your comfort zone. But like I mentioned in my last video, there's this thing called balance. I like to think about it like how we move through the seasons and the rhythms that come with them. And as the leaves turn, we fall into wanting creature comforts, like warming soups for dinner. This year in particular, Paige and I are craving soups, so we also want some variety. So we're trying different recipes, including the one I'm making here. The framework of the season lends itself to the familiar rituals and rhythms, but each year the variables and variety might be different based on our current needs and where we are in life. I can no longer eat onions and garlic, but that doesn't mean I have to chuck all soup recipes that call for those things out the window. We adapt, we make changes, and then we move forward. We keep growing. That's the thing. And what I come back to again and again. We keep growing. That's, I think, a big part of why we're here on this earth. Hello, friends. Thank you for joining me for this installment of the Autumn Diaries. I thought I'd come on and say hello. Have a face to camera section since last week's video, and this one is heavy on the narration. I've been enjoying. If you hear panting, it's Darcy. It's raining out. It's a gloomy day. She's having a time, so she wants to be close. I've been really enjoying putting together the last few weeks of videos, these autumn diaries. It's been so special to film in such a way that when I look back on them, it almost feels like I'm seeing myself through everyone else's eyes in the house. Like maybe it's a little bit how my husband sees me or my kids, just going about my day. And so it's really special, not only to share with you all, but as a practice of kind of romanticizing what I do and what we do as a family and as we move through our weeks. But it's just a gift. And if you don't make videos, or if you don't film, or if you don't take pictures of your daily life, I very much encourage you to give it a try, because it's something special. There's an element when it comes to video that, I like to write a lot about my daily life, but there's the video element and the photographs, like just that visual component is really important. It's really important to give us a full picture of our own lives somehow. So anyway, it's been really fun to do that, and sharing the narration is another practice in storytelling and writing, and I hope when I was sharing about staying, it has nothing to do with my marriage. We're good. Lucas is my person. He is, I was so I got quite emotional celebrating his birthday this year because he turned 50 and it feels like a big one. And I'm just so grateful that he's here, and he's our rock in a lot of ways. And we've grown a lot together in the last year. And I'm just so grateful that he's here for that. And he's here for that growth that comes in marriage. You know, I was talking about in the narration, like, we grow. That's what we're here to do. And it's okay, even when it's scary sometimes. So, and of course, when I talk about, like, what would it feel like to stay if it's not a safe situation, I'm not an advocate for that. So I just want to make that clear. I'm sure you all understand, but you never know how things can come across. So yeah, I have my cozy chocolate Earl Grey tea that I'm sipping on this afternoon. Like I said, it's rainy, it's dreary. It's very cozy though, so I'm enjoying that aspect of today. We had some beautiful weather over the weekend, and so I'm okay with some rainy days, especially in fall, where the colors of the leaf, oh, it's just so good. But I wanted to share with you all what I'm reading this week, because that's certainly a cozy element to life. It is something that I do daily. And sometimes, you know, the older that I get, the more I'm willing to switch between books as I feel like it. Like, life's short. You might as well read a bunch if that's your thing. And if it's your thing and you want to switch between books, that's okay too. Anyway, the first one is Dear Writer, Are You Intuitive? By Becca Sim and Susan Biscoff. They have a bunch of different books on or for writers. There's also, I think they have a YouTube channel as well. But this is the one that I'm reading. And I would say that it would be interesting for any type of intuitive creator to read this book. You know, they talk about elements of writing for sure, but also what I've found to be really helpful is pretty much gives you permission to trust that even if you don't know how to explain how you're making something, writing something, editing something, but it comes together, that's okay. You don't always need to know how. Maybe the how is that intuitive process. And if you don't have an intuitive bone in your body and you're like, this is all hogwash, just skip over this one, and that's okay too. But I'm finding it really helpful. I'm finding it really helpful. The second one, I haven't started it, but I have it on my nightstand to start this week, is John O'Donohue's Annam Cara. My friend Palma, who, if you've been in the comments in these videos, you've probably seen her around, sent me this for my birthday. And so it's very special. I've read parts of it over the years, but not in its entirety. And I love John O'Donohue's work. And I think it's extra special that it was given as a gift to me because of our friendship. And yeah, I'm excited to start this one. I will probably read it very slowly, as you do with John O'Donohue's work. And yeah, I'm excited to read this, and it's extra special when someone gives you a book, particularly like this book, because you know it just has extra sentimental value. So I'm looking forward to starting that one. And the last one, on my Kindle, so let me bring up the cover. I am still reading Rosamund Pilcher's Home, but that's more of like a palate cleanser right now, and kind of a comfort read when I need it, when all the other books aren't hitting that. But it's a big one, so I'm enjoying that. I'm enjoying reading that one in bits. This book is called Recipes for an Unexpected Afterlife, and it's by Destin J. Munden. This just came out a few days ago, and it was published by Meg of Meg's Tea Room, who, in partnership with Cliche Teas, does this chocolate Earl Grey tea. So I'm a big fan of hers and the work that she does. So I wanted to give this a shot, even though it's not really in my typical genre. Like oh, let me show you the cover before it goes to sleep. I think it's a more stunning cover in paperback, but I just got it on Kindle. I'm only on to chapter 3, and I'm not entirely sure what's happening. I think I know what's happening. But it's in the, it's more of a fantasy book than I normally go for. I think I know some of you who watch this video who will really enjoy it. So I'm looking forward to getting further into it and finding out more about the story, because from the summary and everything, it sounds like it's going to be lovely, and I'm sure it will. The writing is super interesting. It's hooked me. It's a little dark in the beginning, which is not a bad thing. And so, what else? Next, Paige and I are going on a little bit of a bookish adventure this afternoon. I have to find my next book club pick for the Patreon book club, and I like to have it span 2 months. So I'm looking for my November, December book club pick. And up until this point, we've done pretty much books on creativity and writing. So like the writing life, creative life, all of that kind of stuff. I kind of want to switch it up. I'm really embracing this coziness and being, cozy lifestyle. And so what I'd love to find, especially with the holidays coming up, is a book that focuses on creativity, the creative life, coziness, and seasons and seasonality. So I don't know if that unicorn exists, but that's what I'm going to head to the bookstore to try to find this afternoon. We have a new, we don't have a lot of small independent bookstores around us because we do kind of live in the middle of nowhere, but there is a new Books A Million in the biggest town nearest to us. So we are going to go over and check that out, and I would love to bring you along. So I think after this little segment, there will be one more, hopefully of some bookstore footage, and then that will be it for this video. So thank you for coming along. Enjoy the bookstore footage, and yeah, I'll see you next time. Again, thank you for being here. I'm so glad you're here, and yeah, thank you. So I will see you soon.
Hey mama, could you get up soon? I get so cold in the other room. Here I am, honey, half awake. Get yourself moving and you'll be okay. Morning star, clear and true. Your honesty could pierce my heart right through. Plans are paper, I'm afraid. Get yourself moving and you'll be okay. Hey Pepper, give us a shake in the newborn grass. You're sure to find a snake. Don't let the serpent